Newbie, then this session might be a headache. I don't know, but I think this is not for a beginner, but we still welcome you. In that, you just see how we analyze the chart and how we look at the structure and the market patterns. But if any point of the webinar or any point of the meeting, if that doesn't make sense to you, don't worry, stick around. Maybe you'll get the idea. All right, so I think without wasting time, I think we should start. If everybody wants to come, they can join during the session. And I think last week we were discussing RSI, and due to the limited time and it was in the end of the session, I was actually wind up in hurry, so I think I did not make very clear on that. So should we start with RSI, or should we keep the RSI at the end of the session and we start with the outlook? RSI is a education, so that's I think that is something I can teach. Weekly outlook. All right, so we'll start with weekly outlook directly, not a problem. So we'll start with weekly outlook. I'll start with the script which we conduct in the trading room, just because I had like my team actually spoke to me and they said I should be conducting the script which we follow in the trading room, just in case if somebody wants to join or some, like, so they don't find blind or blank, because then in that case we will not be covering the script which we cover in the weekly outlook. So it should be the same, just in case if you still think I need to check the script which you are about to trade during the week, you can ask once I finish with this script. And I'm not gonna take all of them, I'm just gonna take the ones which have the good moves. So without further ado, Bank Nifty is there already there. It's in my list already. We track that. So without further ado, I think we should start with. So this is Nifty daily structure, and let's start by this. So as of now, the Nifty stand, we don't know that this is completing this pattern or this is just correcting for this impulse. But as of now, like from the last week, if you are tracking us, we were anticipating this move, and now we got the move and completing that pattern. Now within that self, this is actually a complete structure for completing this impulse. However, if they want to go up, this is still an incomplete pattern for making that move, right? Making the upside, it's still incomplete, which in that direction we keep in mind and we go to a lower time frame. Now the preferred direction from this week now onwards should be the downside. Why? Because let's assume if you want to go up, we still need to complete this correction, and let's assume if this is a complete pattern for a downside, right? So if they want to go down, they will go down like that. So let's say if they are going up from here, we have enough time to take this move, and we'll see what they do over there, and based on that condition we can predict the next move and maybe exit this trade in the profit, right? So from this week onwards, the primary direction for this week will be a downside. Now we don't have a trend there, so we cannot draw it, but we can assume, as long as you're not breaking this top, we're assuming that you're making the first impulse for the downside, which means if you want to take a swing trade, if possible, record your webinar and post them on YouTube. And these webinars are specific because sometime, you know what happens when we go in the flow, sometime I might reveal a little more which we are not supposed to upload on YouTube, because if we are a trader, we assume that we cannot give our strategy and our analysis just like that on YouTube, right? So these webinars recording will not be available, but still I'll speak with my team. If they allow, we'll try to edit the part whichever is having the more in-depth, whatever the strategy or the analysis, whatever we are doing, we edit that and we might upload it on the YouTube. But still, if you want to see exactly or if you want to see the entire webinar, you have to be present in the live session. Just in case, like, if trading means something to you, you should be able to give time on it, right? Otherwise it's like, if you are serious, the market will be serious for you. If you're taking it like, I think you get the point. So what was I saying? Yeah, so if this is the first impulse for the downside, if you want to take a swing, let it get corrected and you hop on, and once you do that, you will be having a trend for the downside. So that's the trade we should be looking at if this is a corrective structure for the downside. What is it? Nobody in the world can confirm you, right? So if somebody knows that it's 100% is a corrective structure for the downside, they will sell with an entire property on risk, because it's 100% sure that it's a corrective structure for downside, right? But in market, nothing is 100%, right? So we always in the game of anticipation. We always anticipate the next move, and if it comes, we make money. If it doesn't come, we try to get it break even, or in a worst case scenario, we'll get out with a small loss. So the way as it stands right now, we're expecting this move to come at least till this bottom, and once it is complete over there, we will see we are correcting this or we are actually making a pattern. But nothing, good evening Pravinji, how are you? But nothing can stop us selling the market as of now. This is here. Now how do we sell it? One sell setup you already got it on, I think this on 20th of December, right? I think when we were conducting the trading room Friday, that recording is available on YouTube if you want to see that. So we were able to get this move for intraday. Now if you want to take the swing, you need to do the same thing. What we did here, we followed the impulse, we followed the correction, we traded the next impulse. Similar scene should be with the swing sell, right? So on swing, if you go on a swing on a 4 hour, definitely the swing should be on a 4 hour or 1 hour time frame, right? You're getting an impulse now. You should wait for a correction. If you are not selling it from here, now you would be executing a new sell. So you wait for this impulse, you wait for this correction, you read that correction. Once that correction is finished, you trade it for the downside. Your first potential target would be this trend line. And if we are lucky, they make a corrective structure here, we'll sell again. Or else we'll look at this structure. I think by that time you will be having the weekly webinar again and we can discuss. But those are the places we are looking for, and now we are looking for sell setups in the market. We will hold our buy because I don't see any buy reason in the market now, even for the intraday as well as for the swing. Because see, the primary direction is a downside. So why should I get worried about these upsides? When we were buying in the last webinar, I was telling you that the primary direction is upside. So we were ignoring every sell setup. We were getting a sell setup, but we are not taking it. Now we will be getting a buy setup, but we are not taking it. We are taking only sell setup as of now from this week. All right. So that's a Nifty from our side. Bank Nifty will be I think the similar structure. It's a little bit different. If you go on a time frame, this actually a different structure. However, but still it should be the trend should be this. And again, if you are not in sell from here, you will execute a new sell. And if you are waiting for a swing sell, you read this structure on 4 hour and you read the corrective structure on 1 hour. Right now, we don't have a corrective structure for downside, which means you hold your sell, but any moment you get a sell setup, some corrective structure, you sell it till this trend line. And once they come to the trend line, we'll see what are they're gonna do. They will talk to us that they're going to reverse or they're going to go back down, but still this move is potential now. All right, so those are the two moves we are watching. Of course, Nifty Bank is part of Nifty. I think this is the weightage, 60% of more than 50%. I'm not sure exactly what is the percentage, but banking stocks are having the weightage in Nifty, right? So wherever this goes, the Nifty goes, but still they will have a different structure. But right now they're in this corrective structure. Now within this corrective structure, this is a complete corrective structure for making that move. Now we just need to confirm it once they reach to the trend line. All right, so that's the Bank Nifty. Adani, I don't think you guys should be trading it. We trade it in the trading room. It's in the consolidation, so don't worry about it. Ambuja Cement, if you are trading this, we are looking for the correction of this impulse. As you can see, this is a corrective structure for this impulse. We are having a 1 2 3, and if we get a sell setup, we are selling it. As long as you are not breaking this top, we are selling it this till this trend line. So you might get 618 or you might get total reversal. That depends how does this comes to the 618. If this is coming correctively, we are expecting one more up. If it comes impulsively, we'll expect next correction and sell it for the next move. So those are the places, but as long as you're not breaking this high, look for the sell setup, ignore the buys. Ashok Leyland, not a big deal. Axis Bank, we were selling this also. Actually, we were planning a sell since here. We got the sell here. As you can see, we are on this impulse. This got corrected. We read this correction. Once this correction is finished, I think we took the advantage of this in an intraday. But if you look at on a bigger structure, it's a little bit different on the other ones. If this is a daily structure, now you see there's nothing like a bank Nifty or Nifty kind of thing. But as of now, this stand, the way I'm reading this structure, the potential move for this market, if you want to buy this market, pay attention on these levels, because once it comes here, it might bounce back up, and with that mean that if it comes in a rectangle, where did it go? Anyways, we'll make again. I think it was on a 30 minutes, sorry. That happens. Still it's not coming. Something is wrong in the software. It's here, but it is not here. Anyways, you deal with that. So we are expecting these levels. I think these are the levels on daily chart. So you figure out what are those levels, which means as long as you are under this trend line, you try to sell it till that time, till that zone, or whatever you want to call it. And once you reach here, you might bounce back up. So pay attention on those structure. We are expecting this structure to be developed within this trend line. So if you are planning a sell, plan your sell within the trend line. All right, like that. And once you break through this structure, you look the other way around. But that upside might not break through. That depends how this develops. But still, this will be an entire corrective structure until or unless you're tagging that bottom. All right. So those are the places we are looking in Axis Bank. Now it doesn't matter what you get. Like you can buy this script, you can sell a script, but you are not reaching that bottom. You sell. Your primary direction is sell. You break this trend line and you give a corrective structure. Your primary direction is upside, but that upside is limited until this level, I guess. Don't expect that to tag this high, because this itself is not a complete structure for making a one up. All right. VPCL is not that good. And Alco, I think that you guys should be trading. This is actually corrective structure, and we are expecting this, that this is actually getting corrected, right? But this is coming to this trend. As you can see, this is a trending market, right? And they are in this consolidation. On an average, this market is in consolidation, so you better try this for intraday purpose, which means you go on a lower time frame if you are trading this for intraday purpose. The way this is looking right now, they might give you one more. Actually, wait a second. Actually, this pattern can develop like that. So this is a potential pattern for this, which means there might be a one down. And once you come here, once you tag this, you better start looking for the upside once you break the trend line. So those are the two places or three places we might trade it. Who makes this? All right, Abhi, you hold your question till the end. We'll answer those by the end of that. But before that, let me finish this weekly outlook. All right, we can understand like you're curious about these questions, but we'll answer that once the weekly outlook is finished. All right, so those are the places we are looking at. Once this is break somewhere here, we might to look to buy, because this pattern can develop like that. And until or unless that, as long as we are staying under this trend, we might get one more down, which means we might look for sell setups for one down. Keep in mind, this is intraday, so low time frame, 15 minutes. All right, so the next one should be ICICI Bank. I think those is pretty good volume. All right, so we break this structure, and this structure is also corrective for the upside. Now this is also incomplete, so let me delete everything. And if you pay attention now, this has a trend now. Now you watch this impulse. You see this white candle, this 30-minute candle. If you get a breakout and if you consolidate after that, you read that structure. If that is a corrective structure, you buy this stuff till the top. You remember the Hindalco structure which we just developed? That might be the case, right? Or else, pay attention to this one, because once they tag it, they'll give you sell setup. So near this trend line, it's a good possible trading zone for us. Either way, as long as you're like away from that zone or from that level, it's not tradable, or you can say it's not predictable for the next move. But once it comes to that zone, it's very crucial, and we can easily recognize what this thing is doing based on that condition. You see this impulse, they corrected that, and they repeat the same process, looking for the next impulse. Remember our first weekly webinar, right? As simple as that. So we always look for the next impulse. We don't wanna trade in the correction. Who's making this horn? Right? Come on. All right, that's the bus like going outside. So we are looking for the next impulse after the correction of the completion of the correction. IndusInd Bank, that's a high volume. So what is this doing on a daily time frame? All right. Actually, we are expecting this to make a one more high based on this pattern we see. So we bought the impulse, we bought the IndusInd Bank in the trading room. I think that should be a break-even trade now, but that's still a possible based on this condition. Remember our bank Nifty structure? So this is incomplete for the downside as of now. So as long as you're not breaking this bottom, that high is possible. So how do you trade it? You do have a trend line, but this trend line is actually incorrect because it's having two impulse back to back. So because we don't know what is the corrective structure in that. So if this market wants to go high, I'm telling you, they should go high immediately, because this is also a corrective completed structure for making a one up, right? So where do we buy this script? They already rejected this. They might not respect it because they might break through it. So pay attention on this case. Once you break through this structure, you look to buy this script. Until then, you are getting a complete corrective structure. Read that and sell this for one more down, but keep this very short term because we might think this might not go down. So you are looking for something like this kind of trade, similar kind of that trade. So you get a next consolidation, you're expecting the next similar impulse, similar looking impulse. So don't expect this impulse to go down because this is complete. But this, you see the bigger structure which we just look at on the daily, this actually is incomplete for the downside. All right, so they have to complete the pattern. All right, so that's the IndusInd Bank lookout, and which means which direction we would be trading. As long as you're below this, trade it for intraday short-term downside. Once you break through it, you can trade it for the swing as well as intraday buys. So those are the places. ITC is also a good one, but let me check that. Yep, this is also similar pattern. So the way this should be developed, this should be a crucial zone for this one. And if we go on a lower time frame, oh, this time we got it. So we are coming down in this zone, that's for sure. So how do we sell it? Forget about this buy, we are not looking at that. But this itself is an incomplete pattern. So they go without you because you missed the bus, or you wait for the next bus stop, which will come around this area. So you look for these area to sell again, or you look for that corrective structure, how that develop. If that develop in a trending channel, you're still looking for that move. This is your first target. So we're expecting this leg to we are expecting this script to make this move, and based on that we might trade it. We will avoid these buys. So if it goes 2-3 points or like these kind of candles, avoid that, because we are expecting this one. So we can sell it for swing, we can sell it for intraday, as long as you are here. Once you are here, you need to relook at this structure and then confirm we are going up or down, because here the trade should be in attention. All right, so we either book the profit or just trail it. So if we are lucky and you sold, you got lucky and you got the trade near these area and you're coming here, read the structure and don't book the profit because you can go down. But that's the place we should pay attention, and that's the place we should pay attention to execute the trade. All right, those are the places we are looking at. Jindal still, this is in consolidation, but this is breaking this structure down. This is actually a similar structure for ITC. So you look for this setup till this. I think that should be your zone. So somewhere here, which means you have a trend here for a downside, but don't count that because that's not the complete structure for the downside. So what they'll do, they'll come back up, they'll come out of the trend line, they'll go up, ignore this because you don't have a complete pattern for buy as of now. But once you come here, you start looking for the sell setup, or you look for the sell setup within the trend line. Both are possibilities, but the good one should be out of the trend line, because at that case people might call it false breakout, but you call it a complete structure for the downside. So you do that, and once you execute a sell there, keep it till this level, because this entire leg is possible based on this pattern. All right, once you come here, we're looking for that downside, or we're looking for the bounce. But again, same with ITC, that will be confirmed once you are there. Until then, we're looking for the sell setups for intraday as well as swings in this script. JSW still, this is a good one, I think. So this is actually, remember the last week, I think we were expecting this. As long as you are under this trend line, you are expecting a sell. So from Monday onwards, I think this is Monday. Where's Monday? 17th. So 17th, yeah, 17th is this. So Monday onwards, they already got out of the trend line, right? So same setup. As long as you're under the trend line, you're looking for the sell. The moment you break out of the trend line, you read the complete pattern and you read the opposite direction. All right. Now, once they are there, now this itself is a complete pattern for the downside. They should come down. But you see over there, the case that is not confirming the downside as of now, because that might be the case that they are correcting this impulse for the upside. So what do we do in that case? You fib this impulse as of now, and this is a complex correction they are making over there, but you expect this impulse to get corrected. All right, so which means the places you should be looking at, it's not a golden ratio, but we are just, it's like, to be a blank, it's good to have some level. So nothing is golden here, nothing is support there, but it's like somewhere there. So somewhere there, you should look for this market to come, you should look this market to come. But keep in mind, as long as you're in this impulsive range, you're in consolidation, which means you're looking for short-term trades. You get a sell setup, sell it. You get a sell setup, sell it. You get a buy setup, don't buy it, because if you buy it, this should be a complete pattern, right? So if you can read that and the pattern is complete, you can buy it for swing. But if you are unable to do that, make a trend there and treat it as a short-term trades on an intraday basis based on these conditions. All right, so those are the places it might come, and once it break through the trend line, you expect this to make the corrective structure upside. All right, but keep that all short-term until the next update, I think. So this should be a short-term trades. Kotak Bank, news volatile, like something like that. This hourly time frame is having some issue with the broker. I think just wait 1 second, guys. I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry about that. I made a complaint, so they'll fix it. So the way we are looking at this structure is this. This is a trending market. You're trending over here. But if you look at that carefully, this itself is a complete pattern for making one down, right? Remember our Bank Nifty structure. I think this is also part of Bank Nifty, but the trend line in Bank Nifty is different. The trend line here is a different. So how do you make the correct trend line? The way we follow the rule, we keep this trend line, and don't ask me why, but that's how we keep it. But if you sell now, your trend line is there. Now they might not bounce back up because your trend line has no value in the market. Everybody is following different trend lines. So which one is correct? Nobody knows that. But everybody should be having rules how to draw them. So once you come to this trend line, you might be having a possibility to make a one more high. So again, this will be a similar setup, but keep that in a short-term trades. So the way it stands right now, actually incomplete, because this move should go back up, and actually they should have gone up from here, which they did not do, which means they are making this as a complex corrective structure. And the way they are doing it now, it's looking like, if you ask me personally, this structure can develop like this. This can come here, this can come here, this thing can come here, then make one more down. Then the way they are making it, they might come here, might not come here, and then make one more high, and then make one more down, tag it, and then make one more up. So that's how this structure can develop. So how do you trade it? The only moves I see is this as a tradable, as this as a tradable, as this as a tradable. So if we get these setups, which means we are avoiding this in this and in this. So those two legs you avoid it, and once you come here, you start looking for these signs, then these signs, and then these signs. So those are the three legs, possible legs, which are coming. Now keep in mind that this leg is sure, this leg is sure, but this leg might not come based on the conditions we are having on a bank nifty. So this is optional, but you are still having two legs. Now if you got lucky, you're having, oh sorry, I think I draw something else. This, and this. Yeah. So this, if you got lucky and you buy here, they might directly shoot up. All right, but still this will be a still one good move for the upside. So you can look at that pattern, and once that is complete, you buy this, but it's very short term. What else we can have? ONGC, Reliance Capital, people trade. But don't trade it because it's in consolidation. So you let this pattern develop, and once this is developed, we were looking for this buy anyways, but yeah. So once this is developed, we'll see where does it go. As long as you're in this trend line, in this zone, I mean, you know what to trade: 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 1 minute, if you want to trade that. But that will be very low time frame for the weekly outlook. So let it get complete, and once this pattern is complete, the way as it stand right now, it's incomplete for the downside. I'm sorry, for the upside and for the downside. So they will be in the consolidation. Once the pattern is complete, we'll read it. Is it for the downside or is it for the upside? And once that is readable, we'll trade it. And believe me, we are not going to miss that. SBIN, people trade it. Yeah. So again, this is, I think as you can see, that we have fibbed this impulse, which means we are expecting, as long as you are not breaking this tops and bottoms, you are in the consolidation, which means you can expect some very consolidation here. Lower time frame tradable, which means the way they are looking right now, they might give you one up, but we are not sure how much up they might go. They might go back up and then come back down. So that could be a trend. That could be your trades. Now you decide which trade you want to go. I'm focusing on this one. All right. So if they break through upside directly, I might buy it, but after this impulsive break, right? Once that is complete. Until or unless I'm ignoring this piece, I'm not interested in that little piece. All right. But for the downside, I'm interested, and same near these areas, you can look to sell this market. And let's see how much we get lucky. Like they might bounce back from here, from here, from here. Who knows? We'll see how we'll like keep reading the structure as it goes along. But those are the places I'm looking at for selling this market this week. Tata Motor, that's very, actually, I think we make more money in Tata Motor this week than any other script. So I think we discussed this, I think, last week. This is actually bullish pattern. We're expecting this move to come till this high, and now that's possibility. But until or unless, remember our second bus stop we discussed last week. Actually, this is a trade. Let me show you. I think I'll show you in the, I sent it in the trading rooms. I don't want to show you the Gale setup, but this is the setup you see. So once you read that structure, there's a possible sell zone, and this sell zone, you see support over there, 172. It's not the support, but it's the completion of the pattern. Once this is complete, this is a WXY. We are expecting that. We are expecting this to come here and then make that move. And once it's here, it might go back up or it might go complete downside, but we'll decide that once it is here. All right. But this is a possible sell. So what has happened after that? This I sent, I think, I don't know. Let me see. So I sent this in my trading room. Let me double click. Show me the time. It's showing 19th December I think I sent it in the morning. I look at the chart all the time. Anyways, so let's see 19th December what has happened. So if you go on the charts, 19th December, you see this. So I read this structure, complete this structure. This was like this as a complete pattern, A, B, and this is a C. And within that, you are having a WXY, WXY. And once you see that, we were expecting that upside and come. And once you come here, you talk to me and tell me which leg are you making. Unfortunately, we did not read this structure because it's very confusing as first of all. So we actually bought this. I think recording for that is also available on the YouTube channel. And yeah, so that's how you read this structure. Once you come here, they talk to us, right? So, but still nothing is stopping you from selling here and from buying there. So that's how you can read this structure. This is an example if you want to take that. You guys getting the voice? Just confirm, because I think mic is moved. Yeah, sure. All right, thank you. Yeah, I got it. So that's how you read this structure and that's how you played it. Now, what's the scene in this strata motor for this week? That's the question, and that's why we are here. Now, the way they are looking like, you can make this trend actually this, and actually this is a kind of proper trend line, but you see you're breaking over there, but that break does not mean anything to me. All right, so what we should be looking at, the way it stands right now, if it wants to go more down, this impulse get to be corrected. If this impulse doesn't get corrected, don't even try selling this market, because on a low high time frame this is upside. All right, so if you are not getting any corrective structure, don't sell it. But once this is developed as a corrective structure this week, right, we can expect more downside, and once that is complete, we'll see we are getting upside or not. But if we get a corrective structure developed by, I think, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday possible, you can execute a possible swing trade, or don't trade it while this is in the consolidation. So not a good one in the consolidation. Once consolidation is finished, trade it for the downside, and once you trade it for the downside, you might be having a trend, and once you have the trend, trade for this impulse. Now don't take this impulse for a downside, because we don't have a confirmation for that as of now. So we'll see how does that go, but looking at this impulse to be correct and then trading the next impulse for the downside. If it goes up, we don't have a pattern for that, so we don't trade something which we don't understand. We are looking for the stuff which we know in the market. Other than that is a voodoo, or other than that, like, I want to stay out of it. So what is next? Tata Steel, people trade it. We're looking for, you can see we are looking for this. Don't take that as a support. I'm telling you, they might take it and they might go back up. So those lines are just for the references. So we are looking for this impulse. It's like a similar pattern, and I think you have a trend over there. You also have this, but don't rely on that. I think look for the sell setup somewhere there. So they might bounce back up this structure. They might break this trend line, but I'm still looking for that downside as of now, because I don't have a complete pattern which tells me they might break the highs as of now, because this is itself is not complete yet. I think it's not complete yet. It is looking like a three-way pattern. It's like, if you see this 1, 2, 3, so it might look like a complete, but the way it is looking like, it looks incomplete, and that's how we can say from the experience. But yeah, so I'm looking for the sell setup in this, looking for avoiding that trade, looking for that trade. VDL, you guys don't trade. I think Yes Bank, that's the last one. And Yes Bank, we were expecting from the last week. Remember, we were here somewhere here, so we are expecting this impulse to be get corrected, and buying ke liye koi scene nahi, right? So we are waiting on this one. Again, this actually developed as a corrective structure, so this should actually complete. This itself is a complete pattern, and this itself is a complete pattern for that move. So only thing you need to confirm now is this pattern. Is this a complete structure for downside? You are already on the trend line, which means you are already getting the hints, right? So if, oh, wait a second, yeah. So if it gives you any hint, any kind of corrective structure, look for the downside. Maybe we might. Now keep in mind, in these kind of setups, I'm telling you, you sell this stuff here without any problem. But while you coming here, I'm telling you, you keep this trade on a break even anytime, because they might reverse back up. I have seen that a lot, that has happened. So instead of losing that money, you keep that trade on break even, because if it goes to your target. And if it reverse back, you were not looking for that trade, right? Were you? So you predict the market, you let the market go there. And if it is not going, try taking break even. Because if you see this much money and you are going crazy, oh wow, I'm getting this much money, I'm booking the profit. All right, book the profit. The next thing you know, this is going like this. All right, so take it that way. I will sell here, and the way they go, if they go, I'll put it to break even. And if they go, I'm looking for that move. If I get it, I'll take the entire piece of the cake. All right, I don't want to have a pie or any slice of the cake. I predicted that, and if the market goes there, I'm taking the entire money. What if it goes like that? It does this and it does this. Well, I was not looking for that trade, and I'm wrong. So I better take break-even trade instead of having a stop loss, right? So that's how you should be looking at this kind of a structure, because these have a potential to do that, and then they might come down again, making that as a 1 2 3, and then going down, making that as a complete structure for downside. So this structure can develop like that. Now it's up to you, how do you trade it. If you are experienced, trade it this way, put it to break even, they go back up, try to sell again. Until or unless you're not breaking this bottom, don't look to buy this script for swing or for intraday as of now. I'm looking for the sell setups, because when we get a sell setup, you'll get a bigger sell. When you get a buy setup, these buys look like this. All right, this is a sharp one, but you can ignore this one. So I think that was the last one, and we have completed all the weekly outlook. So now if you have question, you can type, or you want me to look at any script. Is there any trend line or channel formation on the current down leg we should focus for corrective up move in Bank Nifty? I'm not getting any clear trend line here. Please suggest on a Bank Nifty. The trend line should be, the way we look at this structure is this. We are focusing on these trend lines. For the downside, there's no trend line, because the impulse is just got formed. You see this impulse? That just got formed, but you can look for this corrective structure, which means if you were managed to sell it on Friday, you will keep your sell until or unless you're coming to this trend line. Whatever they do there, ignore this. They keep it till this level. Now if you are not able to sell it, or you're looking to sell this script, you see this impulse, or you see this first candle, you go on a lower time frame, you find the impulse. So you let this impulse get corrected for a bigger corrective structure. What am I talking about? I'm talking about like this. This impulse, the first impulse, if you buy now, it might reverse back up. Same thing with this. If you sell now just because it's going down, it might reverse back up, because they might complete this pattern. They break through it, they might go back up. Based on this pattern, that is also possible. But what is not possible is this. Once they make a corrective structure for the downside, it's really hard for them to go back up, because they have a complete pattern for the downside. So what they'll do, they'll complete the pattern for the downside, and they'll have a up structure based on this condition, or if we are lucky, we'll get down, right? So that's how you take the advantage of the trades. You get yourself, you make your position in the corrective structure once the corrective structure is complete, because if you are wrong about this leg, you will get the break-even trade. So for the downside, we don't have a trend line, because you can see this is a first impulse coming down. But if you make it corrective structure on Monday, Tuesday, whatever, and you make something like that, then you can make a trend line like that. So you focus on your sell as long as you're below on this trend, and once you come here, we'll reach. So that's how we would be trading, and we would be looking at the Bank Nifty structure. Make sense? Cool. Anything else I can help with, or anything else you guys want me to ask? I think who makes these structure in stocks? That's very fundamental question actually, and that's I think It's very obvious you get these kind of questions because as a newbie or beginner, who makes these stocks, these structure in the stocks? The answer is very simple. The guys who are making the market, right? And definitely not a retail trader. Let's take a look at this way on these kind of structure. You have your market. First of all, be clear that nobody is trading from the charts. Only retail traders are following these kind of things because they don't have any other things. The only thing we have as a retail trader which shows us the live information is a chart. If you ask me fundamental, as a retail trader, you and I don't have a capacity to know what's going on. See, this is a Nifty 50. So you don't have a capacity to ask, like it has a 50 companies into it. So you and I don't have a capacity to ask each and every single director, the big shareholder, what is your company gonna do? What is your plan? Is your company in a bad fundamental? Is your business plan is sinking? Or you're having a tremendous plan in this sector? Your market is go through, right? So as a retail trader, you try as hard as possible, but as a retail trader, you will be the last one to get the news out. All right. So once the news is already out, I'm sure the retail traders will be the last one to get to know it. So what we do here, you read the market and you see this is your first starting point. Let's take a reference. Doesn't matter where do you want to take it. You go on a monthly. You want to take this as a reference, you take it. You want to take this as a reference, you take it. But the point is, you have to take something on a reference. That's for sure. And when you go on a daily, let's take this reference. So this is the last zone the market was trading and it moved away, right? So I don't know, but people might be selling there. The big banks who are selling there, right? The player who has big chunk of money, dollar currencies, they were selling there. That's for sure. I can see that. Like something bad happened in the companies. Now, what is it? I don't care about that. All I care that happened, and that happened for the downside. Now, at this point, or at any point, people might think, oh, this looks like very cheap to me. I can buy some more. So they will start buying. And some people will sell it. They will sell it. They'll buy it. They'll sell it. They'll buy it. So what they'll do, they're actually making a trades in between here. Nobody is making trades here because you know why? People traded here and they kept it. And that's how this sharp moves comes. These kind of moves appears when people are selling and people are buying. They're fighting for the next move. So these kind of moves happen there. So all participants in the market are making or buying or selling these scripts. Now they are actually planning a next move, but nobody knows which move, right? Is it up or is it down, right? And the key relies here. The people who are participating in the market will make their position. I'm talking about the big monies. Forget about the retail trader as of now. The people who wants to make it down, they will buy first. They will make the transaction or they will make the trades in the opposite direction first until or unless they have not accumulated enough quantities in their favor. All right. And once that enough quantity is finished, they'll drop it. Got it? So who's making these kind of structure? All people, all participants who are trading in the market. Now come back to our retail trader because that's what we are. It doesn't matter how much money you have or how much capital you have trading. Even 100 crore rupees right now, it's like a retail trader because it's $1 trillion industry or it's $1 trillion billion rupees in terms of transaction. You go to NSTA or you go to any forex or any market, you get to know what is the market cap over there. So even 100 crore rupees is a retail trader kind of thing. You can call yourself HNI, but it doesn't make you market mover, believe me. So as a retail trader, come back to the structure now. You read this information. Is this correcting this as a 1, 2, 3? Or is this correcting this as a 1, 2, 3? Now that depends on your ability to read the market. All right, how do you read it? The more you read, the better you get, right? So once it is confirmed which leg is it correcting, we will still sell it here. because if this is correcting the green one, you know what it's gonna do? Let me clear that. So let's assume the green one first. They are making the 1, they're making a 2, they're making a 3 now. They will still go back up. But nothing is stopping us to selling from here because we can still get this move. Now let's assume they are making or they are correcting for the upside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This time they might correct in 5. So you have to go through the basic stuffs if you want to know how do they correct. Sometimes they correct in 5, sometimes they correct in 3, sometimes they correct in 7, 9, 11, 12. Remember Tata Motor? This. Tell me how many waves did they correct here? If you technically corrected 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I can see 7. But what is the basic concept? It's actually still a 3-wave pattern. It's a 1, 2, and 3. So it depends how do you see this structure. That is the story relies in. So back to the Bank Nifty now. So as a retail trader, your job is just to read this structure and trade the next impulse. If you can do that, you got your trade a good trade. Otherwise, I'm telling you, nobody wants to trade in this. You're always looking for here and you're always looking for here to make money. How much do you think you will make money here? Now don't answer me like, oh, I will trade it on an intraday. I'm just talking on this time frame. Based on the 5 minutes you go, it doesn't matter. It's all the same. Tell me how many of you wants to trade it here? Or how many of you wants to take the impulse? Right? I'm sure most of the people will say impulse, right? If you said the corrective structure, like congratulations to you. Anyways, so back on this time frame, they have the impulse, they corrected this, they got the next impulse. Now, my job as a retail trader just to read what they are doing. Are they reversing back up or are they correcting this impulse? Now, if you look at this pattern, they have developed this pattern. Now, for us, this is a corrective structure for the downside, or this is a corrective structure for the trend continuation pattern, which means wherever you're having the next or the wherever you're having the previous impulse, you will have your next impulse. As simple as that, period. Who makes these structure? All the participants who are performing trades in the market. HNI, FII, DII, retail trader, even you who traded Bank Nifty last week, created that structure. I hope I make sense on that, right? So that's the basic I can teach you. Anything else? When will you publish your book? Nice information. Thank you so much. I hope that helped. I'm writing the book. I have actually I want to write that book the way it should help the people to understand the concept for those who actually cannot, for any reason, it doesn't matter, money or time or the online concept we have, it could be anything, but that book should help the people who has not the ability to be with me or to understand or maybe to learn from me. All I want in that book to be very precise in each and every single rule, each and every single pattern which I know, that after reading that book everything should be clear. So I'm writing the book and I'm deleting the book back because I want it to be very perfect, almost to be clear. But to be very frank, if you ask me personally, I think it will be published within 2 months, I guess. Yeah. So within 2 months we are expecting a deadline, and once that is published, I think you can get it. I think, I don't know, let me, yeah, you go to the website. I think I'm not having a Chrome on this, but yeah, so you go to the website, it's available there, but I think within 2 months we will be getting the book published. Thanks for your interest, by the way. All right, so I think the RSI is also left out, but not a problem. I think already there are tons of video available on the internet. You can look at that. So is that ebook or what? No, it's not the ebook, but it's the physical book, because ebook is already like all the information is available on Google. You go and like read it. It's going to be physical because that's how I like it. And let me show you, actually. Let me have the website. So if you go here, this is the book. It's not published yet, but this is going to be physical book. All right, so let's see how this thing develop. But I'm telling you, if I'm not satisfied with this, because I want to be very like we like as a writer or maybe as a trader, I have read so many books and they make me more confused once I read it. So I want to be something which tells me everything I'm supposed to know, right? So like as a moving average, I'm telling you. So I'm not getting opposed, or I'm not accusing moving average. I'm just saying to get to the like advanced level, you have to know the moving average. But I really did not find myself like trading moving average profitably. I'm really sorry. I don't know how that does, because I'm telling you what, if you are following the crossover strategy in your system, you know where will you have the biggest crossover or the most crossover? If you don't believe me, go and figure it out. The most crossover will happen in the consolidation. You'll have a crossover for buy, you will have a crossover for sell, you'll have a crossover for buy, you will have a crossover. And once this impulse is finished, for it selling this market, the crossover will appear here. And let me tell you, it's already late, right? In this case, you might look, oh, I still got this much. But I'm telling you, there are the pattern and there are structure where this might reverse. Remember the yes bank? So let's go on yes bank and let's look at that pattern. So was it the pattern? I think I'm looking at some different. Oh yeah, this is the pattern. So it's a 30 minutes. Yeah. So let's say you will be having a most crossover in the consolidation first of all. So you will fed up with your crossover. What the hell I'm trading, right? And once this impulse is coming here, you will be getting a sell crossover here, somewhere here. Try it if you don't believe me. Like that's how I figure it out. And once that crossover is finished, remember what did I say about this structure? This structure can make one more up. So you sell here expecting this move, and now it's going against you. So the reason it's going against you, because you know why? Because chart itself is an indicator. I'm telling you, do you really think the chart is the same for everybody? Not at all. Every broker is having a different high, different lows for each and every single candle. You go to this, you go to Sher Khan, like you have a pin bar here, they might be having an engulf over there. It doesn't matter. Depending where they are opening, like you see over there. So this broker opens the market or opens the candle at 9:15, right? You see, and some broker opens the candle at 9, which means they close the hourly candle at 10, and this broker will close the candle on 10:15, right? So let's say by 10 you have a candle like that which open here and closes here. So this broker will have a candle printed like that, but within 15 minutes, if candle goes like that, it goes high and it opened here, so make this and they close here. So this is 10:15 time. So this broker will be having a candle like that. So if you are selling based on the candles and based on the moving averages, I'm telling you guys, it's already misleading, because the chart itself is an indicator. So you're putting more indicators, it's gonna like confuse you guys. Like I don't know, but that's how it confused me. So the back to the book now. So I want something which I'm trading right now, and I want the very specific topic. This one is useful, this one doesn't make sense, but yeah, you are supposed to know that. So I'm just picking up the very useful information, and once that bind up completely, we'll release the book. And I think it will be take mostly 2 months. Hardcore copy, yes, this will be a copy which is going to be hard, definitely, but I'm not sure it's going to be paper cover or hardcover. But yeah, definitely it's going to be hard copy. Do you check volume and order flow while taking the entry in trades for intraday or swings? Not at all. I don't look volume at all, because it's also doesn't make sense to me. I'm sorry. I'm not again I'm taking anything against the volume, but it didn't work for me, because I can see a volume. You want to see where is the volume? I'm telling you, where is my drawing tool? You will see the most volume in the impulses. That's how you can take it. I think let's put it that way. Where's the volume? I want to keep the volume here. So indicator, indicator, indicator. This is indicator. Yeah. volume. Look at now. Tell me. The candle which are big, they will be having the most volume. So you can look at and tell the volumes on by looking at the candles only. So why do you need the indicator? Tell me. Did I not tell you that you will be having the most volume on the impulse? Look at that. The volume will die in the consolidation. And in the consolidation, every indicator, anything you know, will go in the dustbin. Because that's the consolidation. See over there, the volume. I knew this volume is down based on this consolidation. So I know I don't need volume that way. So that's why I kept it. I don't keep it. I hope I make sense on that. Now, 3 million volume, 4 million volume, I don't care. Because I know when this impulse is coming, the volume is going to be skyrocket. See, like that. But all I need to do is read this structure and confirm this as for a downside. And then execute the trade. If the corrective structure is not complete for the downside, which it was not here, right? Remember? Last week we were expecting this as a downside, but they do like that. Now, I'm telling you, I don't know any corrective structure complete like that for a downside, which means I'm not gonna sell here. But if you're following volume, if you're following moving average, if you're following super trend, I'm telling you, they are going to give you signal over there. But if you can train your eyes, then you can save yourself from the consolidation, and always the money will be made, the big money will be made in the impulses. All right. And always protect your capital. That's the first rule, I think, from the Warren Buffett. Hope your books become the bestseller. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. All right, guys. So I think we started by 10. This is already 8. Maybe we'll look at RSI next week. Okay, clear for me. Thanks. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys, for coming. And I hope to see you guys next week. And I think I'll speak with the team about the recordings, about the like everything you asked. And if team approved, we'll see what we can do. Until or unless this is just for the people, because we don't want our thing to go out just like that. All right. So anyways, so thank you so much for coming. I'll see you with the next webinar. Thank you so much. Bye bye, guys. Happy trading.